She's such a supportive, kind friend, and I hate how people say rude things about her because she doesn't deserve it. If you knew her in person, you would know she's a really, really nice person. But I actually know her, and I can tell you she's a nice person.
Hi, Curslings. Today I am back with a conspiracy theory that I've had percolating for a while now. Specifically, my belief that Alicia Dougherty intentionally platformed this mad mama to draw attention away from herself. In fact, my fellow creator Amy Robinson recently made a video voicing a similar theory, which you should totally go watch. Now, while reviewing a recording of one of this Mad Mama's TikTok lives from June, with special thanks to Squid from the Mad Mama Snark subreddit for sending it to me, I came across this.
She doesn't mind me being like, hey, I'm friends with Alicia. You know what I mean? Like, it was actually her idea. Like, that video that I made standing in her kitchen. You know, that was something she suggested. And, she thought my one idea to have my kids line up outside her house, she thought that was hilarious.
There are people who really truly thought that we stole. So I just want to explain because it really seemed to distress a lot of people.
So that's what I'm saying. She's so funny and she's so supportive. And
which on its own might seem innocuous, except back in March, the creator Wildflower Tea made this excellent video about the anti-mommy vlogger community, which I also think is a worthwhile watch, by the way, because Wildflower brings up many valid points.
And I think that it's really easy to say that you stand against these things when you have grew your channel off of Alicia's back and hating Alicia, and that is your one greater cause. Right. So it's easy to say that you stand against it and all of these things. But I think that that is just, it's disgusting. It's disgusting to use such an important thing and to say that you're doing it for a better reason when the true reason is hate. It's just hate. You don't like her. Okay. So just be honest about that. Stop using child exploitation. Stop exposing these children's information. Stop talking about the kids at all.
However, it's not the video that's worth noting here, but this comment left by the Dougherty Dozen, where Alicia writes, "Thank you. Once I am no longer trending, they will move on to the next trending vlogger. It's not about the kids at all. It's about clicks and views and money," which, to be fair, Alicia isn't wrong here. Content about the Dougherty Dozen definitely brings in the views. That has never been a secret. And for the larger channels who earn a substantial income from YouTube, there's absolutely motivation for them to continue to talk about creators like Alicia Dougherty over the smaller, more problematic ones that are kind of low interest. But if those smaller, more problematic creators were to begin to gain in popularity or notoriety, they would also become trending vloggers, in theory, at least. So imagine my surprise then, when 2 weeks later, on April 7th, Alicia Dougherty platforms her friend and fellow TikTok mommy vlogger, Veronica, aka This Mad Mama. Now, it's worth noting that Alicia and Veronica have been friends for a long time.
It is frustrating how often I get this comment. Alicia and I are very good friends. She's one of my best friends. When I had, she sent him some clothes and a cute little ducky toy. She sent us some money to help when got sick. She literally is an amazing friend. But I don't like being compared to her because I feel like that's not fair to either of us. We are very different. We post very different things. And again, I am not trying to copy her. We just both happen to have a large family. In fact, I was already pregnant with my 12th before you even knew who she was, before she was verified, before she'd even reached 1 million followers. So y'all can just stop. Y'all need to chill.
A fact Veronica has pointed out many times whenever folks insinuate that she's just riding Alicia's coattails.
I think I may have accidentally picked up some of her trolls by admitting that we were friends. And we've been friends for a couple years. We were friends before she was actually famous on here. I think she had less than 100,000 followers when we became friends. And the only reason I didn't really talk about it much before was because I didn't want to, I didn't want to be in her shadow, you know what I mean?
In terms of how close the two actually are, however, it's hard to say, as Alicia has a track record of allegedly using other content creators she befriends and then ditching them. At least that's how Heather Bell tells it.
Me, and then got me to trust her, and then she ditched me. Just like she does with all her other friends. That's why she has no friends. She's not only done it to me, but a dozen other creator moms who have big families who foster and adopt. She takes what she needs. She steals your content. She said I stole her content, but look at the pages and you'll see. And that's kind of how I know the Dougherty is, because that's what she does. So anyway.
At any rate, to those of us on the outside, this sudden crossover, this time on Alicia's platform, seemed just a little too well timed, as Alicia was embroiled in controversy at that time. You see, for those out of the loop, back in March, the biomother of the Dougherty's kinship placement children had been very publicly making accusations against Alicia, showing up in one of the Facebook snark groups. So much noise was made, in fact, that the biomom was even platformed by Alicia's largest and loudest detractor, the Dad Challenge podcast, who would infamously read private text messages between N and her mother, and then retroactively cut that part from his video. Onora, DCP's lapdog, would also join in on the fun by hosting hours-long live streams with the Biomom in attendance, where her rabble would discuss Biomom and the kinship kids situation, all while dragging Alicia. And you just know that Alicia's team is recording all of it. It was also during this time where GoFundMes were proposed, legal support, and a whole hell of a lot of self-insertion by strangers on the internet, specifically haters of the Dougherty Dozen, who had been whipped up into a fevered frenzy because Biomom had an impending court date in May to determine whether she would regain custody of her kids, or if she was a fit mother or something. I can't remember, because the goalposts were constantly shifting with Biomom. At any rate, to say that this was a turbulent time for Alicia Dougherty and her social media empire would be an understatement, as N and D have become popular additions to the Dougherty Dozen roll call. Enter this mad mama in early April, in the middle of all of this drama, whose raw, unfiltered content was far more problematic in appearance than Alicia's more polished content. And I cannot stress this enough. She was platformed by Alicia barely 2 weeks after Wildflower Tea's livestream discussing how there are far more problematic creators out there. Creators more deserving of discussion and scrutiny than poor old little Alicia Dougherty, who's just doing her darndest to help those poor kids. Side-eye. Recently, Veronica has been trying to shift her audience and content to YouTube, a move she claims was suggested and encouraged by her creator friends.
TikTok has been really, really good for my family, but all my really successful friends have been pushing me to post more on YouTube. So if you want to see more for the next 30 days, most of my focus is going to be over there. So check the linko in the bio if you want to sub to our yeet. Thanks. See you there. Bye.
Presumably one of those creator friends being Alicia Dougherty.
But all my really successful friends have been pushing me to post more on YouTube.
Side-eye. It hasn't been going well, as more and more commentary channels have begun to cover her content, including becoming the latest hate-filled fixation of Onora, and even the Dad Challenge podcast has made recent mention of potentially covering Veronica, after Onora, I guess, sent him a bunch of her stuff. Hell, even Snarky Bish has started covering Veronica in recent months. So Veronica stating in this live stream that Alicia Dougherty encouraged her to make these videos seemed sus as hell. and got me wondering if this really was a setup. So I went back to the Dougherty Dozen's content from March and April, and wouldn't you know it, only this TikTok survives.
Do you or do you not feel bonita?
I feel bonita.
Wonderful, because you look bonita.
Weird. I could have sworn there was a bunch of videos about this crossover event at the movies because people were losing their minds over the amount of popcorn Alicia had purchased. So I looked again, and zip, zilch, nada, forcing me to grab the footage from the Dad Challenge podcast because he's one of the only people I knew of that had actually reacted to that crossover event.
Why are you counting your children? You know how many people are there!
Loud noises!
So congrats, Josh, you're getting a lukewarm mention from me for once. Savor it. Anyway, it appears that our girl, Alicia, has purged most of the evidence of this crossover, all the while encouraging her friend to make content involving her, commenting on Veronica's TikToks, and moving to YouTube, all moves that would attract the attention of Alicia's haters. Not suspicious at all. Now, it's entirely possible that I could be wrong. Honestly, I hope I am. I mean, what does a single comment from March and a bunch of privated videos really mean anyway? Well, I'll tell you what I think. Because I'm a sit and watch kind of girly. And during the Biomom saga, Alicia Dougherty was out here commenting on a bunch of channels, including mine. And I think when Tampon/Baby Sock Gate happened with Onora and Mastermind Clips, Alicia started to sense a shift in the winds. Because that same week, Not Another Housewife made this video.
So anyway, Onora went live. She was ranting and raving. People in the chat, they're like, horrible mother, burn her at the stake, let's... Lock her up, throw away the key. She's the worst person in the world. She threw a tampon. She threw a tampon across the room. She is awful. Okay, Onora was trashing her, saying, and the thing is, like, once they decided that Alicia was guilty of throwing a bloody tampon across the room, then that was their, time to make even more conspiracy theories and rumors. Now she didn't just pull it out and throw it. Now it was on purpose. Then they changed it to she did it on purpose to humiliate one of the kids. And they decided to blame a teenage girl, okay, the one that they're saying needs to be left alone and protected, and she's off social media, leave her alone. Okay, they decided to tell everybody that it was hers and that Alicia showed it on purpose to bully and humiliate her because Alicia is not allowed to film her right now.
Thing. Are you fucking out of your damn mind? There's only two people in that house that have their woman thing, and we know who they are. Gross. She literally she pulled, like, this woman never goes through her laundry. She shoves shit in the fucking washer, right? Now, I only watched a few seconds of it because just done, she pisses me off.
And I made this video, which I intentionally premiered right before Onora's live stream.
And she just straight up was like rude as fuck. If my daughter did that in front of me, pop, right in the mouth.
Yep, ending child exploitation, one pop to the kisser at a time.
Pop, right in the mouth.
And then, to everyone's surprise, during Onora's live stream, Alicia Dougherty went live herself.
We would love to move there.
Yeah, we have been toying with should we move to Kentucky?
Something she hadn't done in a very long time, and something that she hasn't done since. Side-eye. Then, because there's more, of course, on Saturday or Sunday, I forget which day, and I do not feel like going and digging through my hard drive to find the original screenshot I took when it happened, Alicia Dougherty made this comment on Auntie Lauren's community post, writing, "I don't think she," the Biomom, realizes her kids are watching her lie about me and slander me all over the internet, while I'm over here caring for them and trying to assure them that everything will be okay. N and the oldest son apologized to me for her behavior, the eldest son being the older brother to N and D, who is a young adult. N said, "I don't know why she's doing this. If anything, she should be thanking you for everything you've done for us." I told her she does not need to apologize for her mom's actions and that she doesn't need to concern herself with it. But when everyone is tagging them in these things, it's hard for them to ignore it. No child should ever have to feel responsible for their own parents' thoughts and actions. At the time that Alicia made this comment, I had full intention of covering it, because there's a lot to unpack here. And honestly, she's not wrong. The kids aren't responsible for their parents' actions, or Alicia's or the Biomom's. But ADHD, a full-time job, and a toddler makes for a chaotic combination, and I never got back to it. Interestingly, though, I don't recall anyone else discussing it either. I don't even know if anyone noticed it, at least on my side of the street, with my side being the anti-mummy vlogger community. It just kind of got missed. Regardless, I always found it to be very telling. An interesting glimpse into who Alicia Dougherty might actually be behind that polished facade, as Alicia Dougherty is often accused of framing herself as a savior to her adopted and placement kids. And honestly, comments like this one certainly do nothing to dispel that perception. I truly think that up until this point in the Biomom arc, Alicia was freaking out. And when Tampon Gate, Baby Sock Gate happened, she started to feel like the tides in the commentary community were turning in her favor, because even I had begun to question Biomom's motives, making this video
brought up on me being accused of exploiting my children or oversharing. First of all, they're my children. Second of all, I don't overshare.
Which is now private at BTW, and which Alicia Dougherty would also comment on. I also think that Biomom teaming up with Alicia Dougherty's detractors was stressing her the fuck out, understandably so. Ignoring the revenue she earns from her social media platform, the Biomom and a bunch of strangers inserting themselves into her personal life was a huge liability to the safety and stability of her home and her children's well-being, something me and Amy Robinson also took issue with at the time. So I can understand why she was hoping that interest in her would fade and be refocused onto another trending vlogger. And I also think that's why she platformed this Mad Mama like a week later. Like I said, it's a conspiracy theory, one I've harbored since everything kicked off at the end of March, but one that I think might have some truth to it. I think Alicia Dougherty callously fed her creator friend Veronica to the wolves, all while making sure her image remained sparkly and unblemished. And Veronica, being an undiagnosed neurodivergent woman, because I do agree with her self-assessment, she is probably very likely on the spectrum, Veronica was none the wiser. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Veronica is naive in the same way that I am, in that she can't help but assume the good in others, even when they are doing shitty, hurtful things. It's a trauma thing. What I don't think Alicia accounted for was how single-minded her haters are, especially larger channels like DCP and Radiant Brit, who profit off of bashing her and just, they hate her. They hate her guts, and they're always going to talk about her. Alicia might not be a lol cow in the true sense, in that she will never be a foodie beauty type, but she does net views. Her name brings money, and those two things are important ingredients to any channel's success and growth, and therefore the sole reason why she will never be able to shake her trolls completely. After all, search engine optimization is a powerful motivator. Alicia was, however, right about how channels would eventually move on to the next trending vlogger, as this summer Colleen Ballinger has dominated a lot of channels' content, bringing in even more views, dollars, and subs than Alicia's content ever could. As for Veronica, I feel bad that she now has people like Onora dogging her. And I feel partially responsible for this because I did kind of encourage Onora to cover Veronica back when Onora and I were still on friendly speaking terms in DMs. Back when I still foolishly believed that Onora could grow and change and be a better version of herself. You know, the naive optimism that keeps getting me into trouble on this frickin' app. And why I pretty much will never talk to anyone ever again because I will just get suckered because I'm a sucker. And listen, I have no shame in admitting that I'm a softie. Under this hard eyeball shell is a softie, a naive sucker, where even after releasing this video, I'm telling you, if DCP or Alicia Dougherty DM'd me, and it wasn't a threat this time, Josh, I would very likely probably give them a chance. I would at least hear them out. And that's probably why I'm very bad at this YouTube thing. But it's okay. This isn't how I make my money anyway. Unfortunately for Veronica, and me, I guess, the internet is brimming with dangerous idiots. So many. My hope is that Veronica will figure out a way to polish her content and find an approach to vlogging that minimizes people from going full psycho on her. Because not all of the commentary channels within this wolf's den have it out for her. Anyway, that's it for me. Just a little conspiracy theory to kick off your day. I want to thank everyone for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I will catch you in the next one, hopefully soon. Bye!